Alright, this video is going to be short and sweet. This is everything you need to start welding. Alright, so the first thing you need to start welding is a welder. This is a multi-process welder. You don't need a multi-process welder to start. I just wanted to learn all the different types of welding. It was about $800. It does MIG, TIG, and stick welding, but you can choose to get a lower end MIG welder that just does MIG welding for a lot cheaper, and it would work great. So obviously to weld, you're gonna need some type of wire, welding wire, or filler rod if you're stick welding. So if you wanna get started welding right away for as cheap as possible, you're gonna go with the flux core welding wire. This wire will cost you about $20. If you wanna go to a solid core wire and use gas, which is a much cleaner form of welding, you're gonna have to get one of these. What I did is I started off with flux core, and then eventually bought my own tank and bought solid core wire. Next thing you need to start welding, this is a welding helmet. This is from Lincoln Electric. This helmet costs a little bit more money. I think it's totally worth it. I started off with a $70 helmet from Amazon, and it lasted about a year, and I couldn't see anything out of it the whole time. So I would not recommend that. I would recommend getting a bit of a pricier helmet to start, and that way you don't waste your money on a crappy helmet that will only last a little bit. The good thing about these Lincoln Electric helmets is they will last forever. The parts for these helmets will never go out, they'll always be available. So in 40 years when you need to replace your front glass here, they'll still have those parts for you. So I would definitely recommend getting a Lincoln helmet or a Miller helmet or a name brand helmet that is a little bit more pricey. I think the cost is worth it too. You get this nice big view hole thing. What do you call that? You get this nice big window to see out of. It has a ton of sensors on the front to detect UV light. On the back here, there's a ton of adjustments for making the helmet as comfortable as possible, since you'll probably be wearing it for a while. So yeah, Lincoln Electric helmet, it was $300. I would definitely recommend getting a more expensive helmet to start. Alright, next item, we got welding gloves. These are kind of old, but you need welding gloves. These are MIG welding gloves, which are the middle thickness. So they're a little bit thinner. They're in between TIG and stick. Stick is the heaviest and TIG is the thinnest. Here are some TIG gloves, super thin, MIG, medium. These were only about $20. They lasted pretty long. They're Black Stallion gloves. You can get Miller, Lincoln, any MIG glove will do. The next thing we'll be covering are welpers. These are essential to any MIG welder. You can use them to clean your nozzle, use them to loosen your nozzle. That's not good. You can use them to loosen your contact tip, and you can also use them to cut your MIG wire, and obviously as normal pliers. The welpers here are only like $20, or you can get them on Amazon for like $15 probably. So yeah, welpers are essential to anyone who's trying to MIG weld. You need welpers. All right, next up we got a brush. You need this metal brush here to brush away slag from your welds, especially if you're doing the flux core welding. And the brush is like $7. So next we have a fire resistant cotton jacket for welding. This is gonna work fine for anyone getting into welding or any hobbyists. You can also get leather jackets, which are completely flame proof, but you don't really need one of those unless you're doing like overhead welding or where there's a ton of sparks and they're all raining down on you. So this cotton blend is gonna work fine for most welders. They're only like 20 bucks. So last here, obviously, if you wanna weld, you're gonna need some metal. You can find scrap metal at a ton of places. Craigslist, Facebook, talk to your neighbors, local townships have scrap metal bins. You can find metal anywhere.